What's up, everybody? What's up, YouTube? I'm super excited for this yoga flow. I probably say that in every intro of my videos, but because I'm excited, I love this stuff. Anyways, as you can see, minus the dog that I will be pushing out of the way here in a moment, this is going to be our prop-based yoga flow. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure that you may have seen or remembered that I asked if you would be interested in a prop-based class, and I got a resounding yes. So I'm super excited to offer this to you. As I develop more in my own yoga practice, I actually use props more than when I first started. I think that's the story for a lot of people, that beginner's mindset, thinking that we don't need these items for our practice, or for some reason this makes our practice not as official. So I always want to accommodate everyone who's watching these classes. So if you do have these props, let's definitely use them. But I'm going to take a second just to kind of walk through what we have and walk through other options that you could use if you don't have some of these. Go, go, go. Good boy. So what we have today to use, we'll start with a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, don't worry about it. You can always accommodate using the blocks or blankets that we'll use as well. But if you do have a bolster, go ahead and grab that with you. If you don't have a bolster, like I said, that's okay. We're going to primarily use a blanket. I always use a Mexican blanket, but I would always just suggest, he thinks this blanket is his. I can't. So I always use a Mexican blanket. If for some reason you don't have like a Mexican blanket, that's okay. I just always say get your thinnest lap blanket. Fielder, you gotta go. You gotta go, dude. Thank you. And then lastly here, I debated on using a strap, but I think we're gonna go through something using a strap today. If you don't have a strap, go ahead and grab like a shoestring, a belt, a towel that you can roll up. You're not doing yoga today, dude. Go ahead and grab something like this. And then of course, if you do have 2 blocks, grab your blocks, or if you have like books, anything like that, we'll use those as well. So take a second, go grab your stuff, and I'll meet you back on your mat. Go ahead and get started today on our backs. We're gonna get started on our backs, but we're gonna use our props, because it's our prop class. Again, if you have a bolster, you can use the bolster. If you don't and you want to use a blanket, go ahead and use the blanket. I'm actually going to use the blanket for this one because it's it won't be as of an intense shoulder chest opener. Words today. So let's grab our blanket. You're going to roll it. This is what I learned in elementary school, so hopefully this resonates with you all. We're going to roll it like the hot dog style. So I have it just kind of folded in 2, and just roll this up nice and tight. This is going to go, we're going to lay on this on our back, and this is going to kind of just fall right in line with our spine here. So kind of just a baby fish pose is what I like to call it, just a gentle way to open the shoulders and open the chest. So once you have, go ahead and put your blocks up top because that's when we'll start using them anyway. So you can go ahead and make some room up there for them. And yeah, just kind of everything else you can kind of push out of the way for a moment. So once you have your blanket all wrapped up, go ahead and kind of squish your butt up to it, your sacrum up to the end of this blanket, and let yourself kind of drape over this, making sure it stays in line with your spine. And take a second to get this set up, so don't worry, you won't like kind of rush through this. This might be a longer class just so we can really feel into the props and get comfortable here. So if you're kind of still confused on what this should look like or how you should look, go ahead and kind of gaze up here at me for a second. And like I said, you'll just notice I have the end of this blanket just right on my sacrum, and then the rest of the blanket's really falling in line with my spine, and I'm just going to open up my hands left and right. The palms are facing the ground. And just continue to let your shoulders get heavy, let them fall left, let the right shoulder fall right. Start to soften and or close the eyes, and this is how we will start class today. So when we have these props, we don't have to, well, even if we don't have the props, you never need to force a deeper stretch, deeper sensation, anything like that. But when we have our props here, we allow ourselves some more permissions to really just stay still and let the props help us out. So as you find a comfortable position on your back here, start focusing on just breathing. Maybe just noticing those inhales really fill up through the chest. And then as you exhale, you slowly just squeeze that on out. And just keep going here. You can let the hands stay where they are. If you want one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, you can always make those small adjustments here as well. And I will suggest it might feel really nice to do these Supta Baddha Konasana legs. So that means the soles of your feet are together and those knees go out wide. So you can gently start waking up the hips, inviting them to this party as well. So hopefully through all of my rambling thus far, you have found a position that you're comfortable in. You're really trying to hone on to that breath. So that's kind of what we do when we start these classes. You just settle in and start doing a self-scan and just become aware. Aware of how you're feeling. Maybe just aware of where that breath is going. How the body is just feeling and adjusting to this pose, to this time on your mat. Now keep finding those big inhales, and as you exhale, just bring some more intention with those exhales. So really be sure to squeeze this all out. Inhale through the belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhale, let it go. Inhale again, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, let it go. Two more just like that, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, let it go. This inhale, go ahead and bring the hands on top of the belly, interlace those fingers, and then flip the palms up to the sky as you breathe in, allowing the hands to travel up overhead. So kind of like you're aiming for a nice good morning stretch. So with those arms up overhead, those legs are still in that Supta Baddha Konasana stance. I want you to breathe in and then exhale, lean right. Breathe in towards center, exhale, lean left. Two more just like that. Inhale, center, exhale, right, lean. Inhale, center, exhale, left, lean. I lied, let's just do that one to wrap it up. So come back to center, big breath in. And exhale, go ahead and unleash that bind, let the hands fall left to right. And then slowly start to bring the feet onto the mat. Those knees will start to point up towards the sky. And just kind of windshield wiper the legs, left, right, up, down. Hopefully this blanket is feeling really good. This is honestly one of my favorite poses and props to use. I do love a good fish pose on this bolster though, but this blanket I've been playing with a lot, and I just really like the gentleness that it brings to this fish pose. So we're gonna stay on our backs here for just a little while longer, but we are going to remove the blanket. So just go ahead and kind of roll over to your left or right side, whichever one you naturally lean over to. Move that blanket and then come back to your backs. Come back to your backs. Bring the knees into the chest. Maybe you just sway again, left and right, releasing some tension for that lower back. We're gonna do our supine twist here. So your arms can go out to a T, or you can actually cactus your arms, whichever one feels better for you. I'm truly just gonna cactus my arms today because my props are in my way. So cactus your arms or let them go out to a T. Bring the feet back onto the ground. Gently push into the feet to lift the hips up and shimmy them over towards the right. So you shimmy those hips over towards the right and you allow the knees to fall left. And naturally your gaze is gonna go over this right hand here as well. So really give yourself a second to breathe into that supine twist. You can let this left hand come on top of the right knee if that would feel better as well. Inhale through this right lung. Exhale, settle. Continue to keep those eyes soften if that does feel good. Aim for two more just like this. Let's inhale back towards center. Those knees will chase the sky once again. Bring the feet onto the ground again just so we can lift those hips. Shimmy them over to the left just slightly. And those legs are going to fall right as you gaze over that left hand. Another moment to really find some expansion through this upper body. And then as you exhale, twist this all out. Big breath in, left side. Heaviness through this left shoulder on your exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. Beautiful job. Let's come back to center. And we're going to stand on our backs. Just one more pose or one more stretch that we'll do here. Go ahead and locate your strap. If it's kind of far away, my bad, I should have said something earlier, but go ahead and kind of get up and grab that and come back towards the mat. Let's start with our right foot. So bring the right foot up towards the sky. You're going to put the strap on that natural arch in your foot, or just that center of the foot if that arch is kind of not there. So keep the strap into this right and left hand. Extend your left leg out long. The heel is on the ground. And go ahead and bring the strap into just our right hand here. If it feels better for you to have your right and left, you can. It's just not necessary. All I want you to do with this strap is allow your right foot to pulse towards your face. So maybe as you breathe in, you invite that foot closer, and as you exhale, find some release. Just very gentle with yourself, noticing that this strap definitely brings you some more space. Perhaps it's even just letting you allow the chest and the neck to rest a little bit more than what you're typically used to if you don't use a strap. So if this feels good, just kind of keeping these pulses going towards center, so kind of chasing your face, stay just like this. If you're wanting more, left hand on your left hip, let your right foot fall right as far as it's going to go, but not far enough to where this left hip starts to raise. So that's why we bring the left hand onto our hip. Kind of stretch out through the toes. Allow a breath or two to open up through the inner lining of your right leg. Beautiful. Come back to center. You're going to let your left hand grab the strap, replacing the right. This foot's not going to go that far, but just let it go towards the left. So a beautiful stretch here just for our IT band. Let's bring that back to center. Bring the left foot to meet the right just to switch that strap. Bring that right foot down. Strap can be in left hand or both, and start making those same pulses, bringing the left foot towards the face. And also being gentle with yourself here too. So if it ever gets to a point where you actually don't want to pulse, then it just feels good to breathe into this. Since you have this extra assistance with the strap, go ahead and stay still. This is always your practice first and foremost. I'm simply here just to guide you and offer any suggestions that might sound nice. Bring the strap into the left hand, right hand onto the right hip, and let that left foot fall left. I'm going to jinx myself right here, right now, when I say I'm proud of myself for not mixing up my lefts or rights. So stay tuned for the next 20 minutes of class. Pointing and flexing through that extended leg. Maybe you drive the heel toward the left side, push that heel back. Come on back towards center. Right hand's going to grab this strap. Foot gently goes over towards the right side. And honestly, this feels really good for my left AT band for some reason. It might be super tight today. But you'll notice I would think my left heel is probably right in line with my right hip, so it's not going over too far at all. Come on back to the center. Right foot will come up to meet the left. And just extend that strap. You can place it towards the back of your mat. We won't be using it that much more, but always a safe bet to grab a strap for a hamstring stretch. Point and flex really quick, roll out the ankles. Bring the knees into the chest and give yourself about 3 or 4 rocks up the length of your mat just to get into the spine of it. So from here, go ahead and meet me up at that seat, top of your mat. Of course, I'll face you just so you can see me here. Cross these ankles. Let's grab our blocks. So we're gonna do our side body leans, but we're gonna bring the floor up to us for a lot of our poses today. So bring a block over towards the left and the right. I would say on the medium setting, but you can always use the high if the medium's too low for you. So just keep them towards that right and left side. Inhale those hands up nice and high. Exhale through heart center. Big inhale, hands go nice and high. And exhale, heart center. Now this time as you inhale those hands nice and high, you're gonna exhale right hand down, let it grab the block. Go ahead and let the block, so think of these blocks as an extension of your hand this entire time. So if your hand goes forward, that block is gonna go with it. And then you're gonna breathe into this left side as you extend that left arm up overhead, letting it chase the back of your mat. Or the right side of your space, I guess back of my mat. Block is our friend, always, always, and forever. So with the ground kind of coming up to us in these poses, see what you can do differently here. Maybe just a simple pulsing feels a little bit better than it used to. Or maybe you just feel like you have more space to play with extending this left arm up overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, bend in cactus, torso's opening up towards the ceiling. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend in cactus. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend in cactus. Inhale, both hands chase the sky, and we exhale left hand down, let it find that block and push that block up as far as you need to. Extend that right arm up overhead. Find a nice deep breath as you anchor down through that sit bone. It feels really good. I'm really just visualizing me letting this right hand crawl as much as it can over towards this left side, getting a nice deep right stretch, remembering to breathe into that right lung. A big inhale, find your deepest expression of this. Exhale, bend in cactus. Inhale, straighten out that right arm as it chases the left. Exhale, open up your chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, heart shines. Inhale, extend. And now exhale, bring both hands back towards the kneecaps. Find a nice deep breath. And let it go. Let's roll on over to our tabletop position. Again, keep those blocks towards the top of your mat. And we'll definitely start to roll out the wrist here a little bit. So really find some separation in between all 10 fingers. Tops of the feet are on the ground, knees and hips are in line, shoulders and wrists in line, and start making circles with the shoulder. As deep as you need the stretch to be, meaning you can kind of determine the intensity, allowing the shoulders to chase the top of your space. Really feeling that weight distribute towards the pinky, index, thumb, finger. Fielder is literally cuddling his toy right now, sleeping. I cannot. Just a couple more rounds like this. Feel free to switch that rotation if that does feel good. Work some cat-cows in here as you work in the wrists now. So inhale, drop the belly, shift the gaze. Exhale, tuck and round. Big inhale, drop belly, shift gaze. Exhale, tuck and round. Beautiful. Keep this going. Beautiful. Come back to that neutral tabletop position. And from here, come to your shins for a moment. So this is definitely going to be like a, not a vinyasa class. You probably won't be that fast paced, but we'll still do some movement. But I really want to break down some stuff before we get going to let you know you might do this differently than I do, and that's okay, because I'm going to show you something, but I'm not going to do it. I just don't like it, but I was taught it. I know a lot of people who like it, so I want you to at least try it. And if you don't like it like I do, just don't use them. But the blocks, okay, so we're gonna go to downward facing dogs today, obviously. You can use the blocks in your downward facing dog. Like, this is totally okay to do. You might really like it and it might feel really, really good. I encourage you to try it if you have not tried it. So it's not my favorite. Sometimes I feel like it's too slippery, or I just don't feel like I have a good grip, so I'm not going to do it, but I want to give you the option to do it. So when I call downward facing dog, you can keep these blocks right here. Just please know, if you don't use the blocks in your downward facing dog, you're gonna kind of have to finagle and grab them as you go, but I'm gonna be doing it with you too, so you'll kind of see how I try to make it a little bit more smoother as I move from pose to pose. So yes, with that being said, when I say downward facing dog, you choose if you want the blocks under your hand or not, and try it if you haven't. Okay, let's do this. So come to your downward facing dog. I'm just gonna put my blocks on the middle setting on the edges of my mat so I can easily grab them when I call them. But downward facing dog, we're gonna be here for a few rounds. So push into the hands, push into the blocks, whatever it may be. Bend one heel and then the other, breathing into the back lining of this body. Allow yourself to push this mat away, so you want to find some lightness through the chest. As the elbows slowly start to rotate forward, you find that external rotation. Maybe you sway the hips left and right, slowly shake out the head. Let the exhales empty out through the heels. Bring a heaviness through the heels as you activate the hamstrings. Now slowly start to find some stillness here with me. We'll take a few deep breaths together. So big inhale and exhale. Nice big inhale. Slow exhale. Two more just like that. Big inhale and exhale. Another big inhale and exhale. Inhale, let that right foot chase the sky. As you exhale, right foot comes to the top of your mat. Drop your left knee. We're coming for low lunge. Blocks can be on the middle or the highest setting, whatever feels good. So with this low lunge, whatever height you would like those blocks, go ahead and tuck those back left toes. The top of the foot is kind of on the ground, and push your hands into the blocks as you try to straighten out through the spine. Let the chin slightly tuck towards the chest. Go ahead and feel free. I thought I would like the mid, but I think I'm liking the high today. But with this block you have under your hands, allow some openness to come through the side bodies as you find a heaviness through this left hip. Right heel, really drag it into the mat. Try to activate the hamstrings here. Find a nice deep breath. Exhale, let it go. Big inhale, let those hands chase the sky. Exhale, let it go. Big breath in, slight gaze up. As you exhale, hands are going to find those blocks again. Put it to that middle setting and find your half splits. From your half splits, go ahead and just slightly pivot over that extended leg as you continue to flex the toes towards the face. Still find a connection to the heel with the mat as you drive that heel back, finding that activation. Fire up the back lining of this right leg. Hands are on this block, so this might feel new for you. You're like, oh shit, like I have some space here. If you have some space, start thinking of like hinging more from the hips, pulling your chest through. So this is me like not doing that. This is me like really using these blocks to allow my spine to stay straight. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Here for 3. Here for 2. And 1. Lunge back into this right knee. Hands can stay on that mid setting, or you can bring them up to a higher setting as you find pyramid pose. So modified pyramid pose. You straighten through that right leg as you drive off the sole of your left foot. That left heel stays nice and high. Go ahead and shake out the head, left, right, yes, no. Bring an awareness to this right hip. Can you pull that right hip back as you encourage the left hip forward? Big inhale, lunge back into your right foot. And as you exhale, we're coming to a wide-legged forward fold, left side of your mat. I'm gonna turn so you guys can see me, but you're gonna be on the left side of your mat. So with this wide-legged forward fold, this is where this really comes in. The whole blocks are an extension of your hands. They truly are. Crawl those blocks out as much as it feels good. You have an extension through the arms as you drive the hips back and you let the chest melt in between the thighs. Those heels are slightly pointed in, toes are pointed out. all goes here. You can just sway and let the neck dangle. You might even feel better bringing the arms more under the shoulders if you want to get more into the hamstrings and make this less about the shoulders as well. Either way, just play around with this. I'm not telling you what to do in this fold. I want you to play in this fold. Maybe it feels good to actually halfway lift. If you halfway lift, think about trying to activate inside both legs by tucking that tailbone up towards the sky. Chest is lifted and staying through. Beautiful. Breathing here for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to do our Skandasanas with our blocks here. So go ahead and keep the stance that you have in your legs. Bring the blocks right as you lunge into your right leg. Left foot raises. Stay here for a moment, just kind of breathe. If this is your Skandasana, that's okay too. You might actually notice that this might be what you typically, or you might take this tool with you. If you have a Skandasana that's high like this, you should be using blocks to make this more comfortable for yourself. So maybe you learned something today with that. But if you have a lower Skandasana like mine, like you see now, that's okay. Just keep your hands on the block. And then we're going to do some swaying Skandasanas from here. So staying here, just really try to lift through this right inner arch. Keep the spine lifted. One more deep breath. Now inhale back to center, keep the hips low, blocks come with you. Bend into your left knee, flex the right toes up towards the face. Really get some practice of extending, or the blocks being the extension of your hands here. But still, with you having the Skandasana pose and having blocks help you out, you might notice that you can keep the spine lifted a little bit more, the chest might feel more lighter. So just kind of hone in on that as you breathe up and down the spine, hips stay low. Left inner arch, try to lift it slightly, track that left knee out a little bit more. Inhale back towards center, bring those blocks. Exhale right. Inhale center. Exhale left. One more round. Inhale center. Exhale right. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale back towards center, and exhale, meet me at the top of your mat. Bring those blocks towards the edges and downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, just pedal it out a bit. And we'll move to that left side. Inhale, left foot high. Exhale, left foot top of your mat. Drop your right knee. Grab those blocks if you weren't using them in your downward facing dog. Untuck those back right toes. Find the slow lunge. That right hip is heavy. Breathe into the right quad. Left knee in line with the ankle. Chest is lifted. You can kind of roll out your neck here. Just allow the hips to stay heavy as you find lightness through this chest. Big inhale, biceps face the ears. As your hands chase the sky. Exhale, settle. Make a fist, start rolling out those wrists. Inhale, gaze up. And exhale, find your half splits. My blocks are gonna go onto that middle setting. As I flex my left toes towards my face, gently pivoting over that extended leg. Right knee and right hip stay in line with one another. Don't let that hip go behind the knees. Stay nice and high on that knee. Can you think of letting your chest come through a little bit more? Again, make sure these blocks are helping us here, so let them help you push your chest through. Beautiful. Inhale, lunge back into that left foot as you tuck the back right toes, modified pyramid pose using the blocks. Inhale, halfway lift, lunge back into your left foot as you find wide-legged forward fold. This time we're on our right side. So whatever you'd like to do with those blocks, if you like extending them and just letting your chest melt down, go ahead and do that. If you prefer having the blocks under your shoulders with the hands, go ahead and move there. Now from here, just kind of keep bending into the knees if that feels good, letting the hips drop low. Still bring awareness to this upper body, so letting the arms extend or letting those shoulders expand through the back body.
Find what resonates for you here. Continue to lean in, soften the eyes. Now we won't do those swing Skandasanas again just because I want to show you other options that you can do in this position with our props. So go ahead and inhale, halfway lift. Bring the hands under the shoulders. And as you exhale, settle on in. Now check in with this wide-legged forward fold before we do these twists. The outer edge blades of the feet, are you pushing those into the mat so those inner edges can lift? Chest is shining through as you continue to hinge from the hips. Bring the left hand and left block kind of right under that eyesight, and you're going to inhale, right hand high. Exhale and stay. Stack the shoulders, push the ground away from this block. Inhale, reach. And you're going to exhale, switch. You can bring that left block back towards the left. Right hand's going to go under the eyesight as the left hand chases the sky. Settle on the exhale. Reach on the inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, both hands on down. Find this fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find a flat back. And exhale, cruise back to the top of your mats. Bring the blocks either under the hands or to the sides. Downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, inhale into your plank-like pose. First vinyasa, you can do knees or no knees, but choose a vinyasa just to wash that out. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. From here, inhale, heels high. Exhale, walk, step, hop, top of mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands will find the shins. Exhale, fold. Big inhale as you root to rise. Bring those hands up overhead. And exhale, travel through heart center. Another one just like that. Inhale, those hands high. Exhale, hands are going to find heart center. And naturally just let them fall to your sides. So find your mountain pose. Let the palms face the top of your space. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Find a nice deep breath with me. Beautiful. Next inhale, both hands will chase the sky. Let the right hand grab the left wrist, find some length, and then side body lean over towards the right. Hips will go left. Your right foot can go behind the left. Find a nice bend in both the knees, a nice curtsy squat to extend through this left side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bend knees, cactus elbows. Inhale, length. Left hand will grab that right wrist, side body lean. Left foot can go behind your right as you find a nice bend in both knees. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bend in cactus. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, find a vinyasa. Let's actually do 2 more sun A's just to find some movement after all the weird little poses, right? Inhale, heels high. Exhale, walk, step, hop. Halfway lift. Crown of the head will chase the ground. Root to rise. Push those big toes into the mat. Hands will find heart center. Inhale, hands nice and high. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, half. Exhale, break this down. And downward facing dog. One more. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, walk, step, hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Hands will find heart center. Inhale, up. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find your down or your vinyasa. Find your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. And now downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, give yourself about 2 to 3 steady breaths in. Nice exhales out. Keep those eyes nice and closed. Now when you're ready, big inhale, let that right foot chase the sky. As you exhale, right foot top of mat, grab your blocks mid-setting, find runner's lunge. Hips stay low, chest is lifted. Hands are pushing into this block. Maybe you kind of drive the hips up and down, pushing that left heel back, encouraging that right knee forward. Now as you're ready from this runner's lunge, come back to that stance, and then you inhale, crescent pose. Exhale, settle with the hips. Big inhale, hands chase the sky. As you exhale, open up warrior two. That back heel will find the ground as you track the right knee over towards the right. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Palms will remain facing the ground. Encourage that left hand back. Pull that right hand forward. Find your heart center. From here, without moving this bottom half, flip your right palm, paint the sky. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Right hand's gonna grab that block. Left hand extends up overhead. I say this all the time, I think, with every pose we do, but do I love a side angle with this block helping us out? This is really allowing your chest to kind of rotate up towards the ceiling as you chase the left side of your space. Really find this extension here. Chase the top of your mat with this left hand. Big deep breath for 3, for 2, and 1. Twisted runners. Left hand down, pop off that left heel. Right hand's gonna go nice and high. Again, another pose I love the block for. Breathe with me, stack the shoulders. Push this left hand into the mat. From here, bring that right hand down, modified pyramid pose. Inhale, runner's lunge. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bye, bye, bye. From your downward facing dog, let's inhale, left foot high. Exhale, left foot top of mat. Bring those blocks back. Runner's lunge, lift that chest. Spine is nice and lifted. You can make those same micro movements if that would feel good. Right heel pushes back. Left knee pushes forward. Come back to that runner's lunge. Find that steady stance as you inhale, chest will raise. Exhale, settle into your crescent lunge. Palms facing one another. Breathe into the back body. Exhale through the hips. Big inhale. And exhale, drive off that back foot. Last inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Drop your right heel as you gaze over this left hand. Hips are squared towards the right side of your space. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. It's your left thigh here, right? So the inner thigh, try to rotate that up as the outer thigh will externally rotate down. Lunge in here for 3, for 2, and 1. Flip this left palm, paint the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, side angle, left forearm on the block. Right hand's gonna go nice and high, chasing the top of your space. Notice the expansion you have through this right side as you really drive the outer blade of that foot into this mat. From the fingertips all the way to the toes, big breath in. Exhale, settle. Big breath in. And exhale. Last inhale. Exhale, twisted runners. Right hand down, pop off that back heel. Left hand chases the sky, stack the shoulders. Settle on this exhale. Breathe in. Exhale, left hand down, push the hips back, modified pyramid pose. Inhale, runner's lunge, remove the blocks. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, vinyasa. And come on down to your shins for that upward facing dog. Untuck the toes, find a child's pose for a moment. When you're ready, come back to that downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, inhale, heels high. Exhale, walk, step, hop. Top of mat. Grab your blocks right away. You can stay at the top of your mat or you can come center. I'm gonna come center just so you can see me. I guess I should say I'm gonna come middle so you can see me so I'm not like really far to the top of my space. We're gonna come to a seated squat, but we'll be here for a moment. So bring your block and we'll bring it right under the bum. This is a beautiful way to get comfortable in a squat pose, is definitely using a block. So bring the hands to heart center. You can even put a block in between the hands. That's gonna help you open up the knees a little bit more. You can play with kind of how that might feel. But keep the spine lifted here. Slightly tuck the chin towards the chest just to find a nice elongation through the neck. Continue to just push into the inside of the knees with the elbows. Start to kind of settle down here. Come back to the stillness. Just the overall simplicity that this pose provides with this prop. Now, either block or no block, we're gonna go from our squat to a fold a few times. So this is your big breath in, and then as you exhale, fold. Inhale, let the hips find the block. Exhale, extend the legs. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And stay up on this exhale. Pivot the toes in, heels out. Find a more traditional standing fold. Maybe you sway a little bit. If you can see the block that you were sitting on, go ahead and start to remove that and come down to your normal Malasana squat. And then find a seat onto the mat. So this is actually how we're going to end class today, in a wide-legged forward fold. And I like to use the whole edge of my mat. If you want to kind of end class how we started to after this, I always encourage that, but just for the sake of this video and time, we're going to end class this way. And I really like to end class this way sometimes. Wide-legged forward fold, just find whatever sensation feels good for the inner lining of the thighs. Maybe it's one block, maybe it's two blocks, maybe it's two blocks and a bolster, whatever it may be. I want you to just kind of, ooh, I like this idea, 2 blocks and a bolster. Let your chest melt down. Maybe it's the right temple that hits the bolster, or it's the left temple, whatever it may be. I'm definitely taking this and using this in a yin class that I teach in person. So yes, this is your wide-legged forward fold that you're gonna stay in. You can make this active or passive by pointing or flexing the toes, driving the heels into the mat. And I promise you, although I won't stay here for the whole Savasana for you guys, I want you to stay for as long as you possibly can. So if that means you're like, Alexa, set a timer for such and such. Whoops, Alexa, off. Beautiful. Anyways, I want you to stay here and enjoy this wide-legged forward fold. If you don't have a bolster, I'll show you kind of what that would look like too. Very easy. Just bring the head onto these blocks. And just settle in. There's not much else to do here. This is already a pretty intense stretch for the thighs if you're kind of finding that maximum sensation already. So give yourself a second to breathe into this, lean into this. Maybe you close the eyes, play your favorite song, smell a candle that you lit. Stay present with yourself as you wrap up this beautiful, beautiful practice. And as always, extremely grateful for each and every one of you who watch these videos and continue to watch these videos. You guys are the reason I show up for this, and that's not a joke. So I appreciate you continuing to inspire me to make these videos for you all. So as always, I'm all ears, comments, suggestions, feedback. And whether you're taking this at night, during the day, in the afternoon, I hope you have a beautiful evening, a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you again soon. Peace, guys.